Lovely, fantastic. So, afternoon, everybody, and to those new faces that weren't here yesterday. Yeah, I'm Rohan. My company is Raw Corporation. I started my company back end of 2019, and I come from a background. My sort of career has been within the corporate sector. I used to work within the banking sector and the automotive industry, and I rose through the ranks in automotive as a general salesperson, sales operations, up until latterly, I was working for the VW Group, lots of dealerships organising their organisation management processes, sales processes, and operation processes for all the things like KYC compliance operations for the automotive arena. Back end of 2019, I'd had enough of the heave ho. I wanted to go alone. There was more to life than living in a car, basically going around the country. And I wanted to set up and use my expertise in process management and organizing processes and teams and sales processes, but offering that service through myself. So I opened up my Raw Corporation company, and we went into the virtual assistant space. And what we did was sort of run lots of the general admin tasks, and these were things sort of answering telephone calls, customer service inquiries, data entry, filling in spreadsheets, and various little general admin tasks like that. Roughly after around about 3.5 years, up until recently, I've sort of decided, look, this really isn't me. This isn't my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy some of the aspects, but the direction and the everyday flow was not floating my boat. The digital era was coming up, AI was taking over the world. I really wanted to sort of recapitulate my imagination and my direction within my company. Some of the latter companies I was working for was always in the digital space, and this is really what triggered my sort of desire and want to get more into a digital sort of space, moving away from the conventional VA general admin task. So a few of the latter clients were sort of these startup companies, and I enjoyed working along these startups and these companies that wanted to scale, because they understood that, look, they had an ambition, they had a growth idea. What I found is that imagine the leaky boat syndrome. These people are in the boats, the chartering their wonderful little boats out to sea, but they're physically there with a bucket trying to chuck out all the water, trying to keep their boat afloat and trying to deal with all the various different inquiries that they were handling. And I thought this is the perfect gap and a perfect opportunity in my niche that I wanted to drill down into, and help these startups and these scaling companies with their admin tasks. So just to break that down a little bit further, so we understand that look, when most businesses and like most of us here as entrepreneurs, we all are chasing the sale as startups. We all want that business coming in, and we do what we can to get that business going through the doors. But what we often found was that actually once we was awarded that business, then all our attention was focused on to delivering that piece of work, physically working with that client. And on the back end, clients were being left behind. We wasn't following up and re-nurturing our existing database, or we weren't looking after our current clients. And I felt this is my opportunity to help those startups and those entrepreneurs fill that gap by leveraging my services with small pieces of work, a couple of hours here, depending a few hours here and there, leveraging sort of tools and actions, managing their client database and their automated processes within their CRM tools. So what I'm coming here for today is that I want to ask you as a community in terms of I want to find out if my niche is the right niche, that you believe it is in there. And secondly, is to sort of understand how I deliver and get my message across to startups and entrepreneurs. So Perfect example for love entrepreneurs. I've come in here and I always hear about the follow up, the follow up, and most of us don't action the follow up with our clients. And these are those small services that I can offer. And I'm looking at some services where I can do 50% cash, 50% silver, and generate a formula of different packages to help serve startups and entrepreneurs. So my question back to you is, do you feel this niche is good? Has it got some plausibility? And does my model in terms of me growing my business? Because that's ultimately what I'm here for. My big fix is I need help to grow my business.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rohan. Really clear there. Now we're going to go to general questions from the audience. Don't do what I did yesterday and ramble straight into solutions. You know, I should know how long have I been doing this now, please. So Elaine Godley takes us away. With no sound. How many people would love to hear Elaine Godley speak but not be able?
It would.
Right, the dog is speaking with me here. So, what makes your heart sing, Rohan? What do you enjoy doing?
So the thing that makes me go like a kid in a candy shop, I think, is my own analogy of this one. But when I am given a client database of contact, and this needs to be cleansed and updated and managed in a CRM system, that's the piece that gets me giddy, and that's the piece that I could do a 24-hour solid marathon on project.
So is that kind of, manipulating data analysis type of thing? Is that what we're saying?
Correct, yes. So it's that client inception. They need to create that client database into a workable document for nurturing clients, and I will bastardize that data. I will tag that data. I'll make keywords out of that data, so it can make some actionable propositions.
I've just thought this. You make databases sing, then.
Well, I can. Yeah, that's one way of putting it, Hillary. I like that one.
You know, actually, you sing a song of sixpence, and if we're careful, we'll craft a song, and Ian Genius might make one up and sing.
Oh no, don't, oops. So my other question, sorry, so thank you for that answer. My other question is, have you thought about joining forces and collaboration with other people who are already doing this type of thing? Why is it that you're wanting to do it alone?
So it's I don't necessarily want to do it alone. So one of my slow pieces of actions that I've got for growing my business is looking at those collaborations. So within the digital space, I guess without physical presence, but I am now a partner with 6 or 7 CRM companies. So leveraging the ability to work with most people's CRM systems is that point one. But as I grow, that will absolutely need to spread that pot, because what I ultimately don't want to do is be consumed and be the number one person in this business. The leverage and scaling is not me doing the day-to-day activity of what I'm currently doing.
Okay, thank you.
Great, Ian.
Yeah. So at the moment, I mean, how many? I don't know if you call them discovery calls or sales meetings, but how many of those would you have in a typical week?
That's probably a multi-part one, Ian. Discovery calls, sales calls, 3 or 4 a week.
So if it's 3 1 week, then 4, then 3 the following week, that's sort of 3 4 3.
3 4 3, yes.
Yeah. So every 3 weeks you have about 10 conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. 3 plus 4 plus 3, is 10. Yeah. So
Slowly got there.
Yeah, realistically, how many out of those 10 will say yes?
I would say the conversion would be maybe half in 10, 5. So Yeah, I'd say 0.5 because it's roughly about 8 weeks
Yeah.
that I'm onboarding one new opportunity.
Okay. And why, if for every 10 people, half say yes, you can't say a dwarf, can you nowadays? But half of a person says yes every 10. What do you think the biggest reason they say no to you is?
I didn't actually know the answer to this until yesterday. So I believe they are saying no because I'm not actually giving them their solution they're looking for. So I'm talking more about the technicalities of all the work I do and processes that are involved, as opposed to selling the benefit for the customer. I believe that's my biggest downfall.
And the last one then from me is because when Elaine asked some great questions about what you loved, and it was databases, updating, manipulating, working data, why don't people do it themselves? What's their problem? Why can't they do it themselves?
Two things: they don't know how to do it, and it's not a very exciting sort of role. So if you are not tech savvy in Microsoft Excel, for example, in terms of working formulas, then these things, certainly if you've got a database of 1,000 people, that's a hell of a lot of time to go line by line in Excel. So this really is an immediate turn off for most people.
Yeah, okay, well, I've had my little turn. I'll ask you something a little bit later. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Cheers,
Okay.
Thank you very much, Boomy.
Hello, Rohan.
Hi.
Yeah, so the question I have, for example, I'm more of a visual person. So, for example, myself, you say you'd like to help startups. I'm a startup. I'm a bookkeeper. I have maybe four businesses I'm supporting. So, how can you help me in my business?
So for yourself as a startup, and certainly with 4 different businesses, I would be offering and showing you the benefits of passing over those administrational processes, so your client outreach processes and your client follow-up processes. I will be encouraging you to outsource those opportunities so you can concentrate on your business and allowing me to look after your clients' onboarding, your client outreach, and your client upselling in the background.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
That was an amazing question, Boomy. Thank you for that. That for me highlighted, if we stopped here, that was everything you need to know about your big fix. So that was a real live example of you telling somebody precisely how you're going to solve their problem. That was really good. You might not realize it, but these little nuggets happen. You've got it all in there. That was brilliant. So we can all go home now. Who's been
yeah, and we got it on record. So yeah,
that's it. So back to bed, everyone. No, who's next? Any more questions?
God, I might as well ask my next one then. So, if someone hasn't got a database, do you help them create one, get one, acquire one? Can you do anything like that?
Yeah. So the short is everyone's got a database, whether it's on their phone, whether it's a notebook, a notepad, anywhere where they're storing a name, a number, and an email. And I will be encouraging that journey into digitalizing those details, as opposed to the good old-fashioned Rolodex method, for example.
And if a business typically didn't have a CRM, hadn't got all this data, what are they missing out on currently?
They are missing out on 7, 8 different key opportunities. The most important, I guess, is client database, what we call database reactivation, and this is nurturing and keeping customers where they've acquired somebody's contact details. So without CRM system, they're missing out on opportunities of nurturing and drip feeding potential prospect information over a period of time.
I have got a little bonus question then on that. So if someone wasn't able to nurture and drip feed, because they haven't got the CRM, so they're not able to nurture and drip feed, what are they doing instead to make up for that? What are they struggling with now because they can't do any of this stuff?
well, they will be struggling to grow their business ultimately, or finding unorthodox ways of finding their business. I'm not saying they will be 100% failing, but the chances are, I would say 80% of those chances are, without nurturing the database I've spent so much time acquiring, they're going to be losing out on opportunities and losing out on growing their business ultimately.
Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. Right, we've got a flurry of hands now. So who's Kevin next, please?
Yeah, so you're not a CRM, so you whoever comes to you has to have a CRM, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got a CRM, and it seems to do everything that you're offering, but it is expensive, relatively expensive for an SME. So how are you going to tell me that I'm better off? You know, so for example, if I wanted to use your services, I would have to change. I would still be stuck with my expensive CRM. So are you partnered up with people who would perhaps offer something cheaper that I could migrate to?
That's a great question, Kevin, as well. So one of those services is actually understanding and consulting people on their CRM and making sure they are with the correct CRM that's suited for their needs. And what I mean by that is sort of, I think most may understand HubSpot as a tool, which is a great sales and marketing sort of feature as a CRM. But then you will have something like Insightly as a CRM system, which is more geared up if you're running projects. So if you're trying to run sales and marketing from Insightly CRM, likely using the wrong CRM software, because most people look at a CRM and a pricing point to dictate which one they choose, not necessarily the CRM that is suited for their business and their industry. So I would help consult on how you operating it in the correct way. And most importantly, as you said, Kevin, I would probably ask a few more questions on there, but as a business owner, if you are purposely you're running your own CRM by yourself in that same essence, then possibly you are still you are losing time operating a system. And this is my offering is about outsourcing those details, because you're not growing your business by doing manual tasks and admin tasks within a CRM system.
Okay, yeah, I dumped that spot because it's so expensive.
Yes.
But the one I've got is also pretty much expensive as well.
The last thing I'd say on the CRMs and expensive, yes, look, HubSpot on their enterprise, £1,000 a month, yes, is relatively expensive. A CRM system, even if it's £300 and £400 and £500 a month, in terms of what a CRM can do, which is the role of a part-time administrator, it can do the role of a part-time salesperson. When we marry up the costs of what we spend on our employees to do these roles, then actually £300 and £400 a month for a CRM system generally it can be a benefit if you use it and you get it automated in the correct way. So I think it's actually an investment as opposed to an expense.
Can I just ask a layperson's question about this? Because I think obviously Kevin's got a lot of knowledge here and uses it. So can you just run through for me? So if you've got a CRM, right? So give me examples of what Kevin said. Oh, the more expensive CRMs do all this for you. Well, can you just tell me what precisely do they do for you?
Okay, yeah. So
because sorry, I'll give you the context of why I'm asking this. Because yes, it might organize data for you, but if you're running a business, you've still got to then go off and be the salesperson and actually say, "Oh crumbs, I've got to actually do the follow-up process. I've got to send them an email." So it's like am I right in thinking it will just remind you of things that you need to do at a certain given time?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm going to use HubSpot because I think most have heard of this as a CRM tool. So HubSpot will give you a free CRM, and an entry-level CRM is literally just a place where you can put a name, a contact email in there, and that's pretty much it on the free version. Where a CRM becomes expensive in this situation is that when you get to £1,000 a month, a CRM will do lots of those automations. It will weed out and nurture those prospects who are looking at services, interested in services, and a CRM will nurture someone to the point where, are they really genuinely interested in this product, or are they just inquiring and price comparing? So a salesperson will always come into the fold from a CRM, and a CRM is trying to weed out and narrow down the not so important leads, but to make sure that a great lead is being passed over, because everyone still needs that human touch, and we all still want a human to close out our sales. So that CRM will pick out and bring those onto a sales team. And then anybody who's interested and not responded or not turned up to their meeting, and as opposed to a salesman sitting there chasing up and trying to reappoint someone, then a CRM can reappoint as recognize someone's not turned up and do those steps in the background whilst a salesperson can concentrate selling and delivering or closing the genuine opportunities that have come into their business.
But we're talking about time here. So would you then replace the cost of that expensive CRM, or would you be taking it to the next level and actually doing some of those processes for it?
Yeah, so this is where so sort of earlier on, so every business model is going to need a different level of automation. We don't always want a robot or a bot answering questions. So depending on the size of the business and the CRM software that you're using, this could be as little as an hour a month, checking and going through the data and making sure it is still compliant. Or as you said, look, there are certain pieces within a CRM where you don't want the automation, and where that can equally come out to a VA within their CRM. Or as you say, it's a case of, look, I need a certain workflow to happen within my CRM. I need this to happen when someone fills this form on my website. I need this to happen. I need that to happen. And I need it to divert to salesperson B. But I don't know how to figure that out in my CRM. Rohan, can I figure out how to get that happening in my CRM? And that's what people come to me for.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much for that. I'm sorry, I sort of prompted. Christiana, I think you were next, and then Elaine, then Ian.
I just have a very short question. So if I have my own CRM, which I have, would you teach me how to use all the wonderful things that can do? Or would I only outsource the whole package with you?
Excellent question. Thank you for that.
This was sort of yesterday, Christiana. I'm guessing currently I do a lot of part of this could be part of Ian's answer as well. But when I'm having those discovery calls and there are people using their CRMs, then look, there are lots of cheats, hacks, and very basic processes that I love talking about and showing people how to get the basics right in their CRMs, and I'll talk about those all day long. I think some of that problem is that, hold on, should this be a part of an outsourced service? Should I be charging for those consultations? I'm still on the fence on that position at the moment. But your short answer is yes. Look, if you want educating and teaching how to operate your CRM, then yes, I can help with those services.
So if I would phone you and say, I really don't know what to do, how to automate it, then you would help me and sit with me and do it, and you would charge me by the hour then, for example.
But for example, yes. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Christiana. You've just given me an idea. Thank you. So after Antje, I want to stop the questions if that's okay, because we'll never get, we'll be here all night. So Elaine next, then Ian, then Antje, if that's okay.
How do you base your charges?
Yeah, straightforward. It's a £35 an hour pay-as-you-go charge. And then if we go to packages, so a 10-hour package then is £300, and it's one or the other in terms of those two pricing points.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Taking from where Elaine just got to, so it's 35 per hour or 300 for 10. How many hours do I need?
That comes in part of a consultation in terms of your project. It's
Loosely.
Most would need for first instigation would always be around. It would always need a 10-hour package. That would always be by the time that's researching and project delivering. most sales are on a 10-hour package.
And is that 10 hours a month, or is that 10 hours for just off into the future?
Now, so that really does condense whether or not they want the ongoing work, or if it's just a quick fix to upload some data and sort something out within a 10-hour package, or if it's monitoring and managing those workflows on a monthly basis, then yes, it would be a sale opportunity at 10 hours, a 10-hour monthly package a month.
All right, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, Ian. Antia, last question to you, my friend.
I wonder if I should actually do this now, because I'm going into solutions here, because I've been working with Rohan, and Rohan, you're selling yourself short here, okay? Based on what you said to Christiana, I mean, Christiana will have exactly the same situation that I have, all right? And so that probably goes into solutions. So I've got no further questions, just breakout rooms, and then we'll talk.
Well, I look forward to your solution in a minute, Auntie.
Okay,
That'd be brilliant. Her solution will be just give up, Rowan. Give up and go.
I know.
No, I'm just joking, as everyone just thinks, oh my gosh, that's right. Listen, I just want to say hi to Christian. Hi Christian down there driving in his car. Lovely that you could join us. So, this might be just to explain to you, Christian, very quickly. So the Big Fix idea today, Rowan has come along very kindly today and came along yesterday too. And he's got a specific problem that he wants help with. So he's rebranded his business from being a VA to being a MyDigi VA, and it's about making sure that people fully understand what services he provides to people, and therefore how, and we'll be talking around how he does that. So the next section, it might be tricky, Christian, for you to join, but what we're going to do is we're now going to split everybody up into breakout rooms, 3 breakout rooms, and they're going to come back with solutions for Rohan. Group 1, we had Antia, Bumi, Christiana, Presenta, and Hayley.
I have all the feedback. So we had a description of what he does, because I didn't really understand what Rohan does until we went into the room. And it's about building funnels, workflows, landing pages, onboarding to client life cycle, so looking after them, but the client provides the content. He speaks from the fixing the tech background, but what we want to hear as clients is getting more into the pain points and the solutions. So really being clear about things like what was spoken about in the room, getting your time back, getting your money back, less stress, peace of mind. He's easy to work with. He guides and he teaches you. And it's just a support that offers you the ability to step away from that side of your business, particularly if you don't like it. So we looked at being clear in the messaging. So telling the clients how we can help them and how we can help their business. What are you going to save me? You're going to save me that time and that money. And another thing that came up was, who can you collaborate with? Who has your client before and after you? Are there people like content writers, marketers, social media marketers, coaches, those kinds of people who you could be collaborating with to bring a wider package together? So it might not be that you employ them, but you sort of, on a consultancy basis, they can support you in your work as well. The advice is to be bold and tell people exactly what you can do. Have you thought about a membership option where you've got one-to-many? So you do it, or they do it as a DIY, but you guide them through the process. Then there could be another package where somebody might want to do it DIY, but with your support, one-to-one. But then there's a VIP package where you do it all for them. So you could have sort of elements of that. Definitely get testimonials, because your praises were being sung in the room massively. So get as many testimonials as you can together and show people what you're doing for people and what it's doing for their businesses. And there's some questions that we were left with, but I think Ian Genius will probably say it's good to be left with some questions. Is it a new CRM? What am I paying for? Those kinds of questions we were left with after you did your kind of presentation, your pitch.
Okay. I like that feedback. I can't see answer, but I'm guessing I'm guessing she inputted a few of those better ideas. Yeah. Okay.
So get a testimonial offer tomorrow.
No, today. I will get one today.
Yeah.
That's
Lovely,
brilliant.
thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that. It was excellent feedback there. Room 2, Barry, Christian, Edwin, Ian, and Rohan. But Rohan, you can't say anything, just like yesterday.
So again, I was struggling a bit to understand what he did until Elaine started asking the questions about what your passion were. So up to that point, I'd heard the words admin, CRM, VA used, but they were just sort of labels. But then when it came to the passion of what you like doing, then it was about updating, manipulating, usable data. But the thing was, I still didn't know why I wanted these things. So little by little, we were sort of getting closer and closer to the problem, which was, you're not able to nurture clients. And there was one bit where you said something along the lines of 7 to 8 key reasons they'd want them. The thing is, I don't know the 7 to 8 key reasons why I'd want one, but one of them became nurturing. But again, there's not enough gravity on nurturing. So it's sort of, there's no point just touching the word nurturing for 2 seconds. I don't know, it's not enough. But sell the problems more would really help me see the pain points, like how much money you're losing, how much time you're losing, how much inconvenience, like Hayley was saying. Then there was a chunk where you said you were trying to give an example of what someone might say to you, but it was in vagaries. So it was like, I need this to happen and I need that to happen. But you use those words. But the thing is, I'm not a CRM man, so I've absolutely no idea what this happening and that happening is. I'm just left to basically guess. So then it came to, everything you do, if it's about nurturing sequences and you're working with people, what's the impact it's making? So we're talking about getting testimonials, but get testimonials with impact. How many more clients did it get them? How much money did it make them? So it's transparent between the amount of money they made versus the amount of money it cost. And again, if you're charging 10 hours for 300 quid, it's not going to take many clients, is it? One client, they've made their money back several times over, to the point where you probably realise you're not charging a fraction. Someone in the room said, give us more of a clue of what's the outcome of after 10 hours. Barry was saying, if I buy 10 hours from you, what does it do? What does 10 hours do? What's the impact of 10 hours? Again, you might want to sell it as you have to start with 10 hours, and once you've had your 10 hours, then you can buy in units there afterwards. But if they're not buying 10 hours, are they ever going to see the full impact? But it was mainly that, just like sell the problems more, go into a bit more of the reasons why. I don't even know if I've got the problem at the beginning. Tell me the problems I've got. Tell me why they're frustrating. Show me how much I'm missing out on. Give me a loose approximation of what other people have gained from doing it. Just help me make that choice easier by telling the story. If you were doing any teaching on others, if you were working, you could show people the pluses and minuses of working on other platforms. People might be, want to use you, but they don't really understand what the platforms are as well. So you could tab into that, sort of break it down. Why would they want to be steered in some direction? Probably about it.
Okay.
About that, Dan?
Yeah, you pretty much covered it.
Fantastic. All right, no, that's the same sort of feedback as group one. This is really interesting. I mean, the key question that was asked in the beginning was by Boomi, when you were able to, because that brought it to light for me, because I was really struggling, because these things are just in my head as labels. So there's an education process here, I think, which can be done brilliantly by just looking at common problems that common people have, where they're wasting time, because what they're doing, they're filling in CRM systems, activating CRM systems, not knowing what they're doing, spending hours trying to do it themselves, failing, and it's distracting them from what they should be doing. They should be running their own businesses, not faffing around with stuff that you can do for them at very, very effective and low level price points, when, as Ian has said, you take it in the round of how much that's going to make them. Because if they're serious about their business, they're going to want to invest and should be wanting to invest in somebody like you as their number one first port of call, really. You know, so I wholly endorse what Ian has said. That's brilliant. Right, room 3, we've got Tim, we've got Andrew's Fireflies note takers, that's going to be silent, Kevin and Peter, and Elaine had to rush off because it was 5. I think, Tim, you've been appointed as chief spokesperson.
Yeah, so we sort of have taken it a stage further than the others, which was Sod talking about CRM and trying to persuade people they need one and then telling them they need you to help fix it. What you need to do is focus purely on the benefit, and you do all the magic in the background, and it's up to you what tools you use in order to deliver the outcome they want. So if I'm a plumber, you can save me a day a week. You can win me 5 times more of the tenders or the quotes I'm getting to put in from that come in from Trust a Trader and that sort of thing, and get you a load of low cost leads by shoving you into Google My Business and optimizing it. And basically, you can give me more time to be on the tools unpaid, because basically you'll take in the lead, you'll turn it into a professional quote, which will win me the business, which will happen very quickly. And you are, if you respond within the first minute, you are virtually 400 times more likely, or 400% more likely to convert that business than if you take hours. So therefore, if you're setting up the system, so inquiry comes in, quote goes out, it's professional, it's well laid out, it's what you want to receive, not dyslexic rubbish that you get off most tradesmen, or most lawyers, or most people just selling their time, then which then leads to more conversions for them, that you then manage their diaries and make sure that they're time efficient. They're not doing one job in Dartford and another one in Liverpool on the same day. And that actually you do the billing so they get paid quickly, then they get referrals because you've collected all of that. And that's all a process in modules that you're basically, you're not talking to them how you do it. It's here's how it works in terms of the benefits for you, and here is the monthly fee. So you're making an extra day a week in terms of billing that I'm saving you. So that's making you another 1,400 quid a month. You're getting 3 times more jobs. That's making another 1,400 quid a month. And I'm only charging you 150 quid a month, sir, on a recurring outcome. So I was, you know, we basically said, take the stuff, turn it into modules, solutions, make it really simple, put it into terminology for people that are used to selling their time and don't want to do the admin crap, and just say, we'll take that away and our process will make you more professional. And then ideally book in with the Ingenious, as I said to you yesterday, to actually turn that into language that is so easy that even a 6-year-old could understand why they want you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Brilliant, absolutely excellent.
Even though he does occasionally sing at you.
He does actually, yes. Yeah, we've had a couple of renditions, Tim, of that. Brilliant. Okay, that is amazing. Rowan, how do you feel?
Overwhelmed is the first word, but so so grateful, and I'm picking up on some genuine consensus that I know the message that I'm trying to put out there is wrong one, and probably what I need. My biggest takeaway is getting that language, just like Ian said and Tim's just said, that getting my language, my message that computes and can be read and understood by a 6-year-old is probably the biggest thing I need to do. I need to get away from all the technical jargon and all that technical rubbish, because that's been, I've recognised that's been my biggest letdown to date, or why I'm losing 8 of those people that I'm having a one-to-one with. So yeah, there's a massive out the 2 days that I need to be clearer. I've confused everybody that's been here for 2 days. Who the hell am I? What am I doing? What can I do for you? And up here, I know all the answers, but letting you know what those answers are is my letdown. So thanks everybody for that input and bringing that to the surface for me. Much appreciated.
Well, that's what we do. I mean, Rowan, I hope you didn't feel that it's done in a spirit of negativity. It's actually done in the spirit of love, you know, because we love you, and you know, you're important because your skills are important to all of our businesses. I mean, I'm glad that you've come and done the Big Fix, because I've learned much more about you, and you know, it is fascinating what you can do, and you've made me really think about some of the stupid things I'm doing,